cute. All right. Anyway, continue.
So, I figure if I've asked the promoters not to take a chance on it, basically, on Twin Forks, and not aim it at the Dashboard fans. I have too much respect for them to pull a quick one. Now, that being said, I do enjoy that they're there, and that we're there together, and given the opportunity, I'll play Dashboard songs too. But I'm not going to say bigger on the marquee, the band that's not playing, and then not play their songs, or only play 2 or 3 of their songs. It's just not fair. And so it takes longer to break your other project than it would than by simply trading on your...
It's actually a liability and instead of an asset.
I think it did. I think it... Well, look, I think it's a cheat.
Yeah.
It's a cheat to do it that way. I'd rather grow the fan base from small to large than start large and have them realize they were fooled and then walk away.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's all an invitation. Of course, I'm inviting the fans of all of my bands. I'm trying to reach them to feel invited to this thing. But I want them to know what the thing is they're coming to see. Now, in respect to like the days that we get to do both, like Twin Forks and Dashboard, I've got a feeling there'll be people that will make the walk across the lawn to see what we're up to.
They're already there.
That maybe just haven't had the opportunity or weren't interested yet, or were like, I heard it, I didn't like it, but I'm here. I'll go see if I like it live. Maybe we'll win him that way. Or he hasn't come to my town yet, whatever. The strange thing that's happening is we're gaining fans that have never heard of Dashboard or weren't fans of Dashboard.
That is strange.
So I'm curious to see if any of those will walk across the line the other way. And that's by virtue of the fact that we're... I actually don't know how we're getting fans that aren't Dashboard fans. I guess just by being a new band. And
yeah, some people just really like to check out new stuff. Yeah. They like fresh bands.
So who knows how that people come across music. The same way I do. My friends put them in my hand, or I stumble across it in an article, or I hear it in a grocery store.
Pandora.
Yeah. And I think it's exciting to be the underdog. It's been a while since we were actually the underdog, but I never really stopped feeling like the underdog.
Really? You still feel like the underdog?
Well, sure. We never really got like the kind of radio success that cements you for like a lifetime career, like you were just talking about Foo Fighters a moment ago.
Oh yeah, but he had a really, really strong advantage. I mean, not that the Foo Fighters don't stand on their own, but
maybe so. That's a very unique example. But how about we say Coldplay then, okay? Because they came out of nowhere and then they just dominate radio, and they're going to have a career until they just can't pick up.
Coldplay is probably a good example.
And there's others, the Killers. There's lots. There's lots, and it has a lot to do with the power of radio and reinforcing. And
there's also the power of media like movies, soundtracks,
which we've had. So we've had better.
I'm
talking about Dashboard now. Actually, this is true of Twin Forks. We've had better luck with movies and television, not movies yet for Twin Forks, but television, than we ever had with radio.
Mm-hmm.
But radio, I think, is the piece, like all that stuff. Radio, television and
sporting events,
all the auxiliary non-radio ways of exposing your music gives you a chance to be a live band.
Mm-hmm.
The actual genuine radio success, I think, gives you a chance to be like just a band forever if you really can stay in that game. And we never really got on the radio with that. With that.
It's an interesting point.
We had some near opportunities, and we had some great moments like the Unplugged and Vindicated come around that really moved the cultural needle in a way that radio does. But they don't still play those songs on the radio like they might still play a contemporary of mine, like My Chemical Romance or something. Like Elaine still get played, or Sugar We're Going Out Swinging still get played, deservedly so. Those are like kind of massive hits and what I call meatballs, like where they just come straight.
Bands like that, I don't know. I think they did a lot of festivals, and I think word got out that way. That was like when you could hop onto a festival or 25 of them in a row and really get your name out there.
Well, they did a great job with that, but I just sort of think that they had powerful radio support because the songs were unconventional, but lended themselves somehow to radio. And my songs were unconventional and didn't really lend themselves to radio, but lended themselves great to movies and other.
Which is just as good. Come on. Yeah. If you hear something in a movie, you're going to buy the album.
Lucky for me, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you state in your mission statement on Twin Forks' page that the goal is to get people singing along without knowing the words. Has that happened?
Yes.
That's so awesome. Yeah.
And it's funny that came out as that I phrased it that way. Like it's just this. I said that after it happened a couple of times, and I was like, wow. This is a goal to chase now. It wasn't like a preconceived thing. It was like they had. We played a couple of festivals, and there's this relatively simple chorus, and I realized the next, 45 seconds later, when the chorus rolled around again, that people were singing along. And I thought
that is like cool.
It was really satisfying. It was like it's as if you've solved the Rubik's Cube or something like that. Like wait a minute, I guess I get the power of connecting with people is huge, right? Having it reinforced immediately is hugely rewarding. It's one thing to have them buy your record or come talk to you afterwards, but to not know your band and sing the chorus by the next round,
mind blowing.
It's really exciting, and it also gave me an effort to be like, maybe it's time to have my choruses have less than 100 words in them, which is a challenge for me. But I've lived up to it.
Well, you've learned a lot. You learned finger picking, right? In a couple of years' time.
I knew how to finger pick, but I didn't know this very elaborate style of finger picking that is the style of play that like some of these heroes of mine played. So I love their songs, and I just wanted to be able to play them. So learning that, it took me years. It took me like 2 solid years of like 8 hours of studying.
I couldn't learn a triad in 5 years.
That's not true.
It's true.
But, I did the thing where I just like buckled down with every free moment. And even if I was watching TV, or if I was watching sports, I practiced the thing. I think the playoffs were great for me because I could just like sit for hours and just divide my time.
Which playoffs were you watching?
Well, at the time, I guess it was, what time of year was it? It was now. It was when I started.
Hockey playoffs?
It's hockey and basketball.
Yeah.
So I'm a massive basketball fan. So
who's your team?
The Heat.
Ah.
But now let me give you my caveat here, okay?
Okay.
So I moved briefly to Florida when I was young, junior in high school, I guess, and the cheapest seats were $7. We had no team whatsoever. It's great. $7, you can go see this awful team.
Crazy.
Okay. Then they get Dwayne Wade, and then they get Shaquille O'Neal. $7. Cheap. You can still go. Then they win a championship,
and then you
$7. $7 still.
No way! They were still $7.
I was just like, this will be my team forever.
Oh my god!
Now they have the whole Big Three and the rings, and it's not $7 anymore. But that made me a fan when I was young enough where $7 was like, that's the most I could, like I can go there. I can actually go to the game.
Hell yeah!
So anyway, learning this finger picking opened a door for me to a direction of writing that I hadn't gone in, and also opened me up to a challenge from Jonathan, who's the bass player there, but also the producer, who, as I was playing music like this when we would do our, like what we call a guitar pull outside, where everybody takes a turn with the guitar, plays a song. And I would play those kinds of songs, and he said to me, "Why are you afraid to write what you love?" And I've said this before in a couple of interviews, but you forgive me for it because it was such a transformative moment for me. Because I think I'd already spent a decade or so getting high accolades or getting hit with rocks for doing just exactly what I believe in, not being afraid to do what I love, not being afraid to do what I love. So when he said that to me, I thought, wow, I am going to chicken about this. I'm afraid of like the smudging, the field of that my heroes had cleared for the rest of us. And
I understand.
Ultimately, I think I did find a way to write within the parameters of that style and find my own take on it without just having a watered-down rendition of these heroes of mine.
I'd say so. The band is unique. I think
what we did was we realized, like, well, it's not just the one influence, but it's an influence from this period of time of my life. It's this folk, outlaw country, and bluegrass stuff. And how can we mix this all up? Well, folk is sort of the leading factor because it's mostly fingerpicking or that kind of chordal structure. There's riffs, like in bluegrass, but they're short. They're not long runs. But it's the tempo and the boot stomping that you get, or the feel of it, like that you might get on a mandolin.
Absolutely.
And so we combine those two, which, cross, but then we put in this outlaw country, which is a lot more about, it's more leaning towards the outlaw than the country. It's not so much that we're doing, some of the lyrics could be country songs. Some of them have a little twang. Some of them have minor, like flat fifths and the things that make things country. Some of them have those, but mostly it's that attitude.
And not being afraid to say the word heart anymore.
Well, that was an exercise. It wasn't fear. So you're asking me about one that I swore off using the words heart and
love.
In my writing. That's 2 years. I do this on occasion. You're a writer, so I don't know if you ever find little tricks that you like. Are gonna like. I'm gonna take this out of my pencil box for a while and see what else I can use to draw with. So
you want to avoid certain cliches. Well, for me, you want to avoid certain cliches.
So now the thing is, there's a time and a place for heart and love. And when you're a songwriter, that time and place can be every song. Why not? They're great descriptors and powerful. But by writing for 2 years songs that did not use those words, when I find, and it wasn't like, okay, now the time's up. It was just the very first time. It took 2 years. I didn't set it as 2 years. The very first time, the exact right word and only word to use was heart. I used it and threw away that rule.
That's a pretty cool way to operate, actually.
And I don't think it could work again. I'll try another.
It wouldn't be as organic if you did it again.
So next time, I don't know what it'll be. But I do that periodically. I've done it throughout my writing.
That, I actually just threw out a word I avoid, organic, because it was everywhere for a while. I was like, I'm not saying it.
Don't say organic?
No, sorry. For those that know, Back to You video was actually a collection of fan-made lyrical artwork. It's awesome. Yeah,
it was awesome.
I think that's a cool way to connect with people.
We had, in my other band, we'd done this contest, and we got so much, and only could choose one. And I thought...
It's so hard.
So this time, let's find a way where we can utilize...
everybody.
Everybody that had... I just thought it was great,
It was great. That's actually become more of a thing now. I think bands are starting to warm up to the idea of including the fan base in their art.
Well, I never. Is that true? Was there a period when they weren't? Because I always was. I guess my relationship with my fan base is just a little odd in that it's pretty close. The line of delineation is
blurred.
Pale at best, right? So,
which I think is an improvement, by the way, from what I'm used to. Back in the day, everybody was
I do like the Untouchable Rock God thing.
You do?
As a fan, not exclusively.
Maybe for Morrissey.
I swear to God, you just picked the guy I would have picked. Amazing.
I think it works for him.
By the way, it's no secret. I have a haircut like his. It's not this is haircut. It's more.
Oh, that wasn't an accident, really?
Close. But
he's like everybody's man crush, like ever. I think
it's not even. Yeah, I'll give you that. He's everybody's man crush, but there's something. I don't know. Can I say I just like there's like for this guy who writes like these songs that are, this is how I feel, and it's either great or not great. He's just a bad motherfucker somehow, is. And I love that. It's like Steve Earle's the same way. Like,
yeah,
you know, he writes these songs that are just like
tremendous.
I'm just gonna cut this open and show you what's inside, but don't get too close because I bite. You know, that's my favorite thing about Steve Earle. Like you just feel like this guy could take you in and take you into his arm. And then throw you right out, you know.
Lemmy Kilmister. Lemmy Kilmister is like that, actually.
Oh, yeah?
I think so.
Yeah.
Like, he'll sit in the corner and have a beer and observe you. But if you piss him off, you're dead to him. It's crazy. Yeah. You've expressed concern about using it or losing it when it comes to inspiration. And that one really hit home for me because I worry about that all the time. Yeah,
I think that even... You can't rely that it's going to be there if you don't. When you need it, it better be there. But it can't be there if you're not working on it when you don't need it.
Like an exercise for a muscle, you can't.
You need the thing to be. Ready to fire. You know. I'm like all these mixed metaphors are floating through my head, but the truth is, it's like I just write all the time. I'll write with or without inspiration. I always have a little inspiration, but sometimes you're less inspired. But the idea is to complete the work and put it in the pile and say that's finished. Is it epic? Maybe it is. I don't know. I'll find out 3 weeks when I go and I listen to it again. But most likely no, because I'd still be talking about it the rest of the day. But when I get that thing that's inside, like, oh, I've got one, and I'm open to it because I'm always open to it. I never tamp it down. There's just less resistance. It doesn't mean it's easy all the time. It just means by honing it constantly, there's just less resistance. And you don't know what's going to hold you up. It could be the simplest thing.
You know, one of the biggest problems I have is I'll come up with like a great intro, right? And it's perfect. And then I touch it, and then I ruin it, and then I put it down. Does that ever happen to you with songs?
Yeah, it's funny that you should say an intro. I'm like, a song can live or die in the first line. Mm. And I've often had these great songs that just
didn't make it.
They just didn't have a good first line. They just didn't have a good a first line that made me want to know what the hell the story was, even though I knew, having written it, this story was worth telling. But there was no invitation in the front.
So it's like the other way around for a song. The opposite problem from what I'm having, where I don't want to mar the perfect intro with anything stupid that I come up afterwards.
Yeah, revision it's necessary, but it really can be dangerous. It's really good to look back. I found a song we'd written in a hotel room, spur of the moment. It was, we were all in there, the Kimmy and Kelsey and John and Sean and I, and Sean's playing a guitar thing. I came up with this melody. He came up with a harmony. We're just like singing it, and just a whole song happened. Somebody recorded it. They recorded it. Then we worked on it, John and I. Another day or something like that. How'd it go? I think it went like this, you know. This would be better. Now this would be better. You're tacking on the pieces, right? You're building it up. And we listened back to the tape and like,
nope.
Here it was. It was already done.
Yeah, sometimes you tinker with it and you ruin it. Kind of like making a banana split, right?
Right.
If you wouldn't have overdosed on that last bit of maraschino cherry.
But on the other hand, you have to try. You have to keep tinkering because you can't be sure.
I know.
That the first thing was the right thing, even though it often is, and maybe most often is. Sometimes it isn't. And just what if? So it's good that we have these, thank goodness for recorders, you know.
Thank goodness for recorders. I used to walk around with one all the time. I love this quote too. It takes a while where talking about it with friends isn't where you go, and talking about it in songs is where you go. I love that quote. That is just exactly how I feel. Because sometimes you get into a rut where every great idea you have comes out of your mouth like verbal diarrhea and it never makes it to the paper. And then it's gone. Mm-hmm. How do you avoid that? You just stop talking to people?
I do. I become a little shy.
Yeah. Maybe you have to.
And that's not macabre. It's not like, it's not that I won't go out. But maybe I won't go out until I've written a song, you know.
How do you avoid, well, maybe it's just me. How do you avoid that? I'm like totally turning this into a therapy session. How do you avoid the laziness that comes with, oh, I have a day off. I'm going to stare at the wall now for 47 years instead of actually creating anything. Is that training?
By taking them every now and again. By allowing myself to just say, this isn't the day, man. This is the day that I need to just kind of be a person and stare at the TV.
Pull yourself out.
You know, I need to catch up on Game of Thrones. I need to leave that guitar in the case in a hotel room. You know
what it is? It's working full time as an artist versus not, I think, is the problem. Because then when you finally have that minute, instead of being an artist, you're burnt out.
But then there's the other thing where you're like, you know, you have a responsibility towards like some future writing where you're going to need, like what I was saying, you're going to need it to be there for you. So what I'll do a lot of the times is where I feel like, well, you know, there's being creative, which is what I think what we're talking about, right? And like, so here's your opportunity, your day off in this hotel. So maybe instead of writing a song, I'll study like a style of play. I just can't bring myself to write the song that day. And I just kind of want to watch baseball if it's on. But I'll put the sheet music up, and I'll start tinkering with it. And slowly, I'm not paying attention to Sports Center anymore. I'm looking at the page. And I don't know, it's part of the day that goes by. You take a shower, you pick up the guitar again, and you look at the page, but you're bored with it, and suddenly there's a song in your hand instead. You know, so allowing yourself to take like a full day off, or some half day where you're like a half-hearted effort to, at least the guitar's in my hand, you know? I'm letting myself off the hook.
That's what I do. I leave the page up and
this is where I get into real writer's block.
Yeah, you have a really big
like,
one.
I must have that guitar in my hand. I must have the pencil out. I must have the piece of paper out. I write on typing paper, like blank typing paper. I can't even look at lines on paper. Like I have to have complete blank paper. And I write every which way. It's just horrendous, and piles of them, and they're spread everywhere. And like, you know, share a room with whoever. Walk in. Oh God. You know, they just walk right out. Like I can't even look at this mess. You know, and but I don't know. It's hardest to write on the road for me. They're two very, very different and rewarding experiences, the road life and the writing life.
You're probably too tired, aren't you? It's
draining. But I'm also... I have this thing I say about shows in general. There's only the show, I say. Like, you know, bullshit happens all day long. It could ruin your show. Like the simplest thing, just ruin your show, you know. Yeah. But there's only tonight's show. That's how I look at it. There's not tomorrow's show. I've got 100 shows booked. As far as I'm concerned, there's only tonight's show. So I will push my voice as far as I can push it tonight. I'm not protecting it for tomorrow. I'm just trusting it'll be there through my good habits that I've built up over all these years and the strength I've built up in my voice. But I'm not going to hold back so that I can sing tomorrow. But then you talk about waking up the next day and going through the process again of warming up and making sure you're quiet for part of the day and zenning out for as much as you can.
And who wins?
Like, when can you write a song? And, there's some press.
Yeah.
There's some... And it's like, the show's the only thing that counts when you're on the road. It counts even more than writing a song. When I'm home, the only thing that counts is the song.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
And I think it's really fun. It's really a great reward, those rare times where, like, a song comes out of nowhere on the road. Because it's like, it had to. Like, it's not that there wasn't any resistance. It was, like, fully formed. You've been working on it in the back of your mind. I believe in that. You probably do, too, as a writer. I think everybody does.
All the time.
It's like, you go, like, how did that come out so easily? Well, it's not because I'm a genius. It's because somehow I've been working on this.
Brewing.
It's brewing, yeah. And really been working out, even to the finer degrees of how things are going to go. So that when it comes out, there's structure, there's substance, and nuance and all that stuff. And you're just like, we could play that tonight. Sometimes we do.
That's cool. I'm really surprised, but not surprised, to read that major labels' thing is to have all the band members record individually.
No, I don't know that that's necessarily just major label things, or that all major labels always do that. But that is a common thing that I found while I was on a major label, and it is sort of a method of modern recording. It's a method of recording that's become kind of accepted. Some of it has to do with
feasibility.
Yeah, you've got to make. There's some things that you have to do. You have to protect the budget. You have to make something that's, especially with major label stuff, I think that's like super clean, super compressed, super pristine. It's like, but we're not like in the. If I can draw an analogy here, we're not like. We're not like these fine jewelry designers. We're like like a boutique shop where we make shit out of some bracelets out of shit we found.
Thrift store.
That's just shit you found. We make something new. It's
no, that's like fair. You're right.
It's a boutique,
or an art convention like that.
Yeah,
like an art flea.
Yeah. So it was a real. It was freeing. Liberating. It was liberating to just get in a room with everybody and make noise. And like, if I laughed, I know it's on the track. Like, I know which songs I can listen to and I can hear. If I listen to only the drums, the wrong lyric, because it came in through the drum mic, and I'd had to punch that one line, like when we went through again, everybody, oh, go back, I'm going to just sing that one line so I get it right, and I'm listening, all the playback is there, so I'll punch the one line. But the fact is, the wrong line's in there too, and that kind of makes it awesome, to me, I don't know why. But what you do hear more of is the hooting and the hollering and stuff that, when Jonathan produced the record, the bass player, the very first time that they locked in, Ben and Jonathan, and I went, woo! He didn't press stop.
Love to. And I think fans like to hear it, actually. I think it's more fun.
I like it. I like it when I hear it in record, like you listen to the band and that's what it sounds like. Somebody's working hard,
like a
you
one-off
listen to like Bonham.
Yeah.
Like you get those soloed Bonham tracks and you hear his grunts, he's playing, he's doing all this stuff. He's like, he's snorting and grunting, and he's just like...
Funny you should mention, actually, I think, is it either Physical Graffiti or Houses of the Holy that actually has a track where Bonham and Plant have like a whole little exchange. And that's like my favorite thing on there. And I love stuff like that because it's real. It was a moment that somebody had and will never get back.
Right. It was the moment. It wasn't a bunch of successive moments.
Exactly.
So that's what we were chasing on this thing. Let's get the right moment, and also let's not know the song well enough that we forget the spontaneity. And that was a big part of the record too.
Well said. So, what's the coolest gift you've ever received on the road?
The coolest gift I've ever received on the road is we gotta go.
You got like 20 minutes, so.
Okay.
The coolest gift I've ever gotten on the road. Strangest would be easier. to answer. But let's think about coolest.
Okay. Well, strange and cool could be the same.
Get a lot of it could be. I get a lot of really well made versions of me made of perhaps paint or
is that
sculptures
strange to be presented with your own face, or is it cool?
It's cool. Yes, to both. But I would say I've gotten here's one that's I think great. Every now and again there's there's these things we use. They're little tricks of the trade, Like a special tea called throat coat that helps you when you're
oh, I've heard of throat coat, yes.
So singers use that a lot.
Yeah.
Guitar picks, strings, little things like this.
That's
is
thoughtful, though.
I'll get handed I can't tell how many times I've gotten handed I know these are the strings you use. I've got your pair.
That's cool.
And it's really thoughtful because it's not only do you care enough to go and help provide me something, but this is I really do need this for either you tonight or someone tomorrow night to hear this music.
Yeah, that's
picks,
badass.
They're forever getting lost.
I would have never thought of that.
Guitar
Good
straps,
ideas.
it's those things that are really thoughtful that are they're thinking about not just here's this.
Dude.
Here's this gift that I got you because I care about you, which is lovely. But here's this gift that's going to help you be there for us tonight.
I'm so going to do that from now on. That's a great idea.
It's a nice
Bring
one.
everybody guitar strings and picks. Love it. So which project will you be recording next?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I thought it'd be easy to say Dashboard because I got some stuff recorded and it's really, really good. But I heard a band today, and two, as a matter of fact, and it brought me way back to some formative years. The kind of bands that led to me being in what Dashboard was initially. They were it was so impactful when I heard those bands that it opened a floodgate and led me down, washed me down river with it. And that happened to me today.
That
so it'd be real easy
awesome.
to say Dashboard, but I feel like I'm not sure. Whatever and I won't name who they are yet. But these two bands, when I heard them, they were so similar to those other bands, but that was such a long time ago, so far removed from these bands. They may have never even heard of what I connect them to. But it made me feel that same thing for the first time in so very long. Dashboard was the result of something but became its own thing. And suddenly it might be the result of something again. So I don't know. I have a feeling it'll be Twin Forks again before then because I'm very passionate about what we're doing and it's not a side project. And further, we just take so fucking long to make records.
Yeah.
So
especially when you lose entire tracks.
Yeah.
Right?
These things happen.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway,
Sorry.
I don't know. I can't make any guarantees, but I'm always I'm always tinkering. So something will come.
Well, we're looking forward to whatever it is.
I am too.
Thank you so much.